baseball.
Welcome to Historian Legacy, where we take a look back at the great peoples who's left a huge impact and mark on history, and what it took to achieve what they did and been through today. Our discussion is Lewis Howard Latimer. You might not hear much about him when talking about historical inventors, but his inventions changed the world. Lewis Latimer was an African-American inventor who created the carbon filaments for light bulbs and improved toilet system for railroad cars. He also helped create the telephone. Lewis Howard Latimer was born in Chelsea, Massachusetts on September 4, 1848, the youngest of the four children of Rebecca Latimer (1823–1910) and George Latimer (1818–1897). Before Lewis was born, his mother and father escaped from slavery in Virginia and fled to Chelsea, Massachusetts on October 4, 1842. The day they arrived in Boston, George was recognized by a colleague of his former slave owner and was arrested a few days later on October 20, 1842. George's trial received great notoriety. He was represented by Frederick Douglass and William Lloyd Garrison. He was eventually able to purchase his freedom and live with his family in Chelsea, Massachusetts. When Latimer was 10, his mother decided to split the family after the Dred Scott case ruled individual slaves needed to prove they had the consent of their owner to legally become free. Many slaves at the time, such as the Latimers, had lived free by escaping into free states and becoming state citizens, who often would not be sent back to their owners if apprehended by interstate slave catchers. Clarification needed. This caused Lewis's father, George Latimer, to flee for his family's safety because he had nothing to prove he was free from enslavement. So he fled to protect his family. Once Lewis Howard Latimer turned 16, he would later join the U.S. Navy on September 16, 1864, and served as a landsman on the USS Massasoit. After receiving an honorable discharge from the U.S. Navy on July 3, 1865, he gained employment as an office boy with a patent law firm, Crosby, Halstead and Gould, with a $3 per week salary. He learned how to use a set square, ruler, and other drafting tools. Later, after his boss recognized his talent for sketching patent drawings, Latimer was promoted to the position of head draftsman, earning $20 a week by 1872. That would be $438.59 today. Lewis H. Latimer then married Mary Wilson Lewis on November 15, 1873, in Fall River, Massachusetts. Mary was born in Providence, Rhode Island, the daughter of Louisa M. and William Lewis. The couple had two daughters, Emma Jeanette (1883–1978) and Louise Rebecca (1890–1963). Jeanette married Gerald Fitzherbert Norman, the first black person hired as a high school teacher in the New York City public school system, and had two children, Winifred Latimer Norman (1914–2014), a social worker who served as the guardian of her grandfather's legacy, and Gerald Latimer Norman (1911–1990), who became an administrative law judge. In 1879, Lewis Latimer and his wife would later move to a place called Little Liberia, which had been established in the early 19th century by free blacks. Mary would later die in Bridgeport in 1924 with her gone. Lewis Latimer health had started to decline. He then fell ill and would go on to die at the age of 80 in December of 1928. Although he's gone, his legacy and impact, name will live forever, be established, marked in the history books. As the wise man once said, we create our future by well improving present opportunities, however few and small they are. Lewis Howard Latimer wasn't handed anything in his life. Everything he achieved was earned with hard work and dedication. He proved, although life has severity and difficulty, that it is just a obstacle waiting for you to overcome it. Thank you for watching.